Welcome to the show. I'm Kathy Ireland. One of the lesser discussed side effects of chemotherapy is cognitive impairment, which can leave cancer patients struggling to work and maintain relationships with their loved ones. It's part of the collateral damage of cancer treatment. David and Michelle Salo from the ChemoBrain company are here to talk about how their products improve the lives of cancer survivors. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Now, David, can you please tell us about your background and experience in pharmaceuticals?
Certainly. So after receiving my degree in microbiology and chemistry, I went immediately into the pharmaceutical industry, and I spent the next 33 years in oncology pharma, oncology biotech, and oncology diagnostics. So I was around a lot of cancer doctors and their patients, and one of the complaints that we'd heard is ChemoBrain. And I don't know why that always struck me, but it always fascinated me.
Michelle, what experiences led you to co-found ChemoBrain company?
I started off my career as a registered nurse in pediatrics. I did pediatric psych and I did pediatric intensive care, and now I'm doing hospice.
You cover everybody.
Yes.
And then she took a little time off to raise 5 beautiful children.
Oh my
yes,
goodness.
I did.
Wow.
So I was a stay-home mom.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and you're a part of a club that you don't want to be a member of. So we had a lot of experience with cancer, and as I'm in the waiting rooms and in the survivors meetings, you understand that there's problems with the chemo, the chemo, the medications. You've got surgeries, many of them are disfiguring. You have the medications, you have radiation, chemotherapy, and all of the side effects that comes with that.
Yeah.
And you're losing your hair, and you're in pain, and you have anxiety. It's fearful of the unknown. You're trying to just take a day at a time.
And David, can you describe the cognitive impairment that results from chemotherapy treatments?
You know, absolutely. ChemoBrain, the term is kind of a collective term of cognitive issues, and everything is each individual experiences something a little different, but there are some classics. One of them is stumbling over words as you're speaking. You can't recall a word. Others are looking at somebody you've known for years and years and you cannot recall their name. Another one is you walk into a room, and we've all done this, you walk to a room and wonder why you're there, but this happens more frequently. And also you find yourself, some have described walking into a room, forgetting why they were there, and then looking around and wondering where they are. Others have had problems with driving. So these are some of the issues. Again, each one experiences something a little different, but there are still a lot of similarities.
David, can you tell us about ChemoBrain Clear and how does it help?
So ChemoBrain Clear is a result of 6 years of our research and looking at really the last 3. It's a trio of products that include a brain health, a vascular health product, and a gut health product. And simply described is we're focusing on the gut first and improving the health of the gut. Most of our guts are not in really great shape, and then you throw chemo in there, it really damages the good bacteria. So we've replaced that. The reason for that is to help with the absorption of the other 2 products. The next product is the vascular product that we've developed, and that helps with the repair of the lining of the vascular system, but more importantly, the microvasculars. And you think of the brain, it's mostly microvascular. And so if we want to get our third product in, the brain health product in, we need to have an improved vascular system to deliver these nutrients. And then the third product is what we call a broad spectrum micronutrient, which has been shown to help with cognitive issues. And so that is how ChemoBrain came about, and that's how it works.
Each year, about 650,000 Americans undergo chemotherapy treatments in their fight against cancer. Chemotherapy is a powerful weapon, but it can also lead to unpleasant side effects as it works on the body. Although ChemoBrain syndrome isn't well understood, its effects are both real and devastating to cancer patients who just want to get their old lives back. Fortunately, help is on the way. ChemoBrain nutritional supplements are specially designed to support the brain, gut, and vascular health of cancer patients to help reduce cognitive impairment and fatigue.
So I was diagnosed and started chemotherapy in 2006, realized something was wrong in 2009, began seeking out clinical trials, and was evaluated in 2010. I stumbled upon ChemoBrain, the supplements, in 2017. I started taking them. So I was living with this quote unquote new normal, wanting just my own normal back for 8 years-ish before I started taking the supplements, and I started to see improvement almost immediately. And the improvement has just been, it's been drastic, and it just continues to get better and better.
It's really interesting. I think being on the ChemoBrain products has helped my body be a little more resilient and taken a lot of that anxiety away so that I can think more clearly, I can have better conversations, I can relax about it. It makes life a lot easier and helps functionality, quite frankly.
Michelle, what other products do you offer to make life better for cancer patients?
We brought the samples of our ChemoBrain Nourishment, which is mocha, vanilla, and chocolate flavored. It has a probiotic inside, and
It's a meal replacement.
It's a delicious meal replacement.
A lot of cancer patients don't feel like eating, so getting good nutrition in is difficult. So this is a low volume, high nutrition product. And so that was one of the main reasons we developed that product.
And we have the Shield and the lozenges, and that has colloidal silver in, which is a protection, and it helps boost the immunity. And we have the D3. We have the D3 Boost with vitamin K.
Okay.
So
and what is
a lot of patients with cancer at the beginning of their diagnosis, they're low in their vitamin D.
Can you share a story of how ChemoBrain made a real difference for one of your customers?
Wow, where do you begin on that one? Yeah, well, we've got several, but if I've got to pick one here, I'm going to talk about Sarah. She's a 45-year-old female cancer survivor that was referred to us by a doctor at the University of Colorado. It was his worst ChemoBrain patient. And we started working with her over a year ago. And one of the things that she struggled with was being a wife and a mother with cognitive difficulties, and she lost her ability to work. And so we started working with her, and after 11 months, she was able to go back to work. And it's an amazing story to see how far she's come, and she's doing very well today. And that was very exciting for us. We've got a number of others, but she's the one that comes to mind.
So Sarah is one of the brightest, most pleasant people that you're ever going to meet, and that became clear the first day that I met Sarah. We had a really, really great and very high-level conversation about chemotherapy, its side effects, what our goals were, what we're shooting for. And Sarah did remarkably well during chemotherapy. And of course, we always want that good news at the end of treatment, knowing that the cancer is gone. And of course, that was reason to celebrate, and we certainly did. Following the completion of chemotherapy, something very, very different, I guess, had changed in terms of Sarah's ability to return back to work. And Sarah will tell you that she was a fantastic lawyer, very, very smart, and she noticed that when she had gone back to work that she had difficulty with tasks that she would normally very easily do in the past. And it was something that had clearly affected her in such a way that it came up, obviously in our conversations as well. She did a number of things. I will tell you that one of the things that she did was also to take the supplement ChemoBrain. And I think really what we saw over the next couple of months of dealing with this was just a return of the Sarah that I knew and met at the very beginning of all this. And that is that, you could kind of see that she was actually returning back to a lot of the things that she enjoyed doing, that she was able to return back to work. And it was really, really just rewarding to see that essential part of Sarah really come back and how that affected not only her work life, but also her home life and how she feels even today.
In December 2016, I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. At the time, I was a mom to 5-year-old twins. I was a corporate lawyer that worked in a mid-sized law firm. And like anyone getting that kind of diagnosis, my life and my world was turned upside down. The chemotherapy for me was grueling, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. I was just piecing together the exhaustion, my inability to do my job. At that point, I knew I could not do my job at all. Not being able to communicate with people. It was all kind of boiling down into, okay, there's a serious problem here. I may have won the battle with cancer, but almost the battle for the quality of life for the rest of my life now seemed to be imminent. So ChemoBrain, I think I was taking it for about 6 months before I actually started noticing a difference. And it was very gradual. It certainly wasn't an overnight fix. I took it every day religiously, and little by little I started noticing I have a little more energy today. Wow, that conversation I had, okay, I knew what they were saying. I was able to actually read a book. I hadn't been able to do that after my chemo treatment. And I could remember what I read. I noticed a very gradual but steady improvement in really all areas.
David, what makes ChemoBrain stand out from other vitamins and supplements?
That's a great question, Kathy. One of the things that we've found is that people think that all supplements are the same, and they're not. And it really depends on the quality of the ingredients they're using, the process and manufacturing. We use pharmaceutical grade ingredients. We hold our manufacturers to the same standards using quality products. They're not inexpensive, by the way. And these are not your average products that you would be finding in a health food store. These were specifically designed for us here at the ChemoBrain company.
Right. And finally, Michelle, what does the future hold for the ChemoBrain company?
Oh, we're very excited about the future. We have pediatric formulas on the rise
that we're working on.
with.
And we've got several other products that we're in development with right now. We're testing it in some of the people that we've been working with for the last several years. So they've agreed to be our guinea pigs of this.
Oh, excellent. Well, please come back. We're excited to follow your progress and learn all the wonderful things that you're doing.
Thank you.
We'd love to be back. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. I'm Kathy Ireland.